Eruption of the country due to a loss of 1 billion. Chinese tourists cannot go. Bali, the most dazzling among the tens of thousands of islands in Indonesia, is hailed by Chinese tourists as Paradise Island with its beautiful and fantastic coastline and open and inclusive visa policy. However, after 54 years of silence, the K.N.B.T volcano in eastern Bali, Indonesia, began to erupt on November 21, seriously affecting the safety of local residents and tourists, causing heavy losses to the local tourism industry. Volcanic activities evaporate $110 million. According to media reports, the K.N.B.T volcano in Bali has started to erupt recently and its intensity of activity has been continuously enhanced. Large quantities of volcanic ash have been erupted for many times. Currently, the local geological disaster department has upgraded the K.N.B.T volcano hazard warning sector to the highest level. Due to the continuous impact of volcanic activities, about 25,000 people around the volcano need to be evacuated urgently. At least 15 inbound and outbound flights at Ngurah Rai International Airport in Bali were cancelled. At present, the travel of nearly 2,000 tourists has been affected. According to local official statistics, the volcanic activity caused a loss of at least $110 million to the tourism industry in Bali. Due to fears that the volcanic eruption will continue, many tourists choose to cancel their trip to Bali. However, the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs recently issued an urgent reminder reminding Chinese citizens to cautiously travel to Bali in the near future. Chinese citizens in Bali are vigilant. They should not go to the area around the volcano and make reasonable arrangements for their trips. The natural disasters damaged the local tourism resources, resulting in the loss of a large number of Chinese tourists, a heavy blow to the tourism industry in Bali and Indonesia as a whole. Chinese tourists into Indonesia's pillar of economic development. Relevant statistics show that in 2017, the number of Chinese tourists has surpassed Singapore to become the largest inbound tourist group in Indonesia. The number of Chinese tourists traveling to Indonesia in the first 8 months of this year increased 46 over the same period of last year to 1.4 million, of which 1,048,300 went to Bali. The Chinese longing for Bali allows the Indonesian government to see tremendous business opportunities in the hope of targeting more Chinese tourists and boosting more inbound tourists. Although Indonesia's tourism industry is in a state of growth, it is still inferior to the number of Chinese tourists coming to Thailand from neighboring countries and Malaysia. The Indonesian government says Indonesia attracts only one of Chinese travelers who travel 120 million outbound each year. One Bali is not enough to bring about the future development of tourism in Indonesia. Therefore, the government plans to use Bali as an example to propose 10 Bali plans and to develop 10 islands with the same level to achieve its development goals and attract Chinese tourists. 10 Bali plan were run aground by natural disasters. It is estimated that the K.N.B.T plan will cost about $200 billion for building roads and adding facilities, with a budget of not more than 3% of GDP. But for the Indonesian government, only with $10 billion in infrastructure, the remaining funding gap can only seek private sector investment. But now it seems that this beautiful plan is likely to be stranded because of the volcanic eruption. Volcanic eruptions have been a major threat to Bali's tourism industry, with thousands of deaths resulting from an eruption in 1963. The Mount Argon volcano activity from November 21 still very active, the possibility of another eruption. Even if the volcanic activity tends to become and subsequent recovery after the disaster, the residents' resettlement work also needs to spend a lot of money. Coupled with the paralysis of the affected tourist facilities, the tourists cannot be accommodated in a large amount in the short term. The situation in the local tourism industry will certainly be aggravated.